I'm Richard Lewis, reporting for CadRed.org. I'm here with one of my new friends from Denmark. It's Lucann from Gamehoppers, and they've just had a great result. They've beat one of the sort of dark horses in the form of Code Red Gaming. So, what happened there? Because I think people were maybe expecting you to, after the first game against Epsilon, that was pretty much it, and Code Red were going to beat you and you were going to be out the group. But in the end, it seemed fairly comfortable. So talk me through it.
Yeah, well, people were saying that CRG was a very good team, and we should watch out because they've been playing really well lately, beating Mouse and stuff in Prague pretty hard. We didn't know what to veto, so we took out from what we know how to play. But then we took Season and Inferno and got told that it was the best maps from CRG, so it was like, wow. But no offense, but it was a pretty easy match. I never had the feeling that they were gonna own us or something like that. They made a lot of stupid mistakes. They were quite easy to tell where they were going as T side. And they didn't get very much first peaks. We got them all, so it was quite an easy match, to be honest.
I mean, did that surprise you? And I mean, were you perhaps surprised at members of your own team? Because we talked before the tournament, and you were talking about how you had to make a few roster changes, and things were a little bit different now in Gamehoppers. Were you pleased and impressed with your new young stars, as it were?
Yeah, in the first match against Epsilon, we didn't talk at all, and I was very upset afterwards. I told them that we need to talk a lot more together. Just talk. We did that against CRG, and it worked out very well. Everybody was hitting what they needed to do, and everybody was giving the information that was needed to win. So I was very happy with the guys. They were playing insanely at the moment.
Was there a little bit of a worry about preparation for the LAN? Because I know, as always, like when we last talked at HK LAN, you've been having a bit of a nightmare, it seems, because there was the stuff with the car. I don't know if you want to tell us the story about that.
Yeah, no problem. We were at Isan, Oliver's place, boot camping. Kongler, our manager, was driving us forward and back to get the rest, and he decided to bump into something and destroy the entire front tire. I suddenly had to get a mate to drive us over there, get the computers. They had to take the bus here, and I took all the computers here, and we got set up and all that. But it was a bit bumpy, so.
But I mean, it wasn't like no one was hurt or anything like that. No, it was a small prang, so that's good. Okay, well, look, I'll move on and ask you your opinion about the Danish scene. I think already we've seen upsets with Danish teams. So we've had Mod beating MTW, obviously yourselves beating Code Red. Blight took a map off Rocket, I believe. I think it was.
Played, yeah.
Oh, is that? No, sorry. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. That might be a few.
Took a map against Rocket.
That was it. Sorry, I get it mixed up. I'm glad you're paying attention to the tournament. But there's certainly been a lot of good Danish performances so far, and we've said it loads about how good the Danish scene is. Do you think that now, realistically, it deserves that hype? Because I don't think a lot of people would be able to name your starting five, but you've beaten a team that people have been saying should be in the top 10 in Europe.
Yeah, well, the Danish scene is very good. There's a lot of teams. The problem is they're changing too fast. They don't stick together long enough, and you can see Wolves and Epsilon been together for almost a year, and they are performing now at a high level. So the problem in the Danish scene is that you need to stick together instead of just changing all the time. There's a little bump, but I don't know, after Copenhagen Games there's going to be changes again, and we're going to see what happened. But right now we have Epsilon, who is, in my opinion, maybe the one team to win. They have been the only favorite, in my opinion, playing at the level they should right now.
Well, I'm glad you've come on to that. I'll ask you a few opinions about who you think is going to win the tournament. Very Games looked a bit shaky against the Norwegians. TT Dragons haven't looked fluid. Mouse Sports, it's a bit hard to say where they are. Rocket, as we've established, have been giving away maps to not Blight, the other team. So do you think maybe this could be like a LAN where like a team just comes from nowhere and wins it? Maybe an Epsilon, maybe someone else?
I think Epsilon have a good chance. There's not going to be any new team, I think, going to win it, because they need the experience at the end when it really counts. But Epsilon has a chance. None of the favorites have been playing very well, not even in Prax, from what I've heard from people. I thought Mouse was very, very strong before getting here, but apparently they've been playing very bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on. It seems quite funny though.
Who do you think is going to be the biggest flop out of all the big teams? Because a lot of people have been saying, oh, we think it might be the Americans, we think it might be MTW. What are your thoughts on what team are really going to crumble hard?
I've been saying MTW from the get-go.
Yeah.
I don't think they're very... Of course they have good players, but they took a Danish guy in on an English team, and he needs to learn all the new names and all that stuff, and they haven't been playing very long together. So I don't think they're going to perform very well. And then in mid-seed, I think Clyde, it seems like they're going all the way down. Unfortunately, I love the guys, but they've been so sad. And they're not cheering when they're doing anything nice, and that's sad to look at.
What about in terms of younger players coming through as well? I mean, your team has got a lot of unknowns in, I would say, players that people don't really know about, but are playing really well. I actually kind of enjoyed watching MSL and Nilla play so well on the big stage. Do you think maybe now this LAN could be a turning point where people are going to realise that maybe the older generation isn't as cracked up as they are to be, and you know, we've got to start giving these younger players a chance to really show what they can do on the big stage?
I don't know. I don't think so. We have Team Shark Gaming, from Seacrest players and some old Imperial players. They're going to perform well, I think, but they're never going to give the chance to the people because it's also a social game. And no offense to the guys, but some of the young stars have trouble being social enough.
Well, you know about that firsthand because, of course, we had punks in your team last time.
Social.
Too social is the word, and you can read about that if you go back and check out the HK LAN coverage. But I want to talk a little bit about yourself because I think you're probably a bit of an unsung hero in the Danish scene. You've done a lot of great work as a captain for your team. You know, you've really drilled your team very well. You're a bit older, a little bit wiser, very calm in game. I don't think I've ever seen you rage. So tell us a little bit about yourself and, you know, what you want to get out of esports and how you approach big tournaments.
Yeah, well, it's my last few years. I'm getting too old. I need to focus on work soon. But yeah, I just want to have fun. I want to go to every LAN I can. This is I'm giving it 100% this time. See if I can go outside of Denmark to play LANs as well, giving it all. How we prepare as a team, we boot camped, we had a lot of wine on the team. I said when we got there, we need to shut up. It's fucking waste of time, and it worked. Nobody has been whining, and it's been going very great. So I'm like the old father guy that control it all together when it comes to the end.
And if all else fails, having a 6'8" manager's not hard, is it? But yeah, look, I want to talk just finally as well about you know, global offensive. I know that you're probably not really that interested in it, or you know, you seem to be very much focused on Source right now, which is cool. Do you have any thoughts about it? I mean, do you not really care for the game? Do you think it can be the next big thing, or?
Yeah, well, I was at when Wolves bootcamp, I was there and I tried Global Offensive. I think it leads a lot to become a game that can take both 1.6 and CSS together, but it's still another game. It's not like one of them. So right now, no. It needs too much work before people are going there. It depends a lot on the money as well. People go where the money is, so let's see what happens.
Okay, and final thoughts. I think probably from watching your performances in the Steel Series League, watching your performances at HK LAN, which of course we covered on Cadred, and seeing your interviews and everything else, I think you're starting to get a lot of new fans and respect. So what are Gamehoppers going to be doing after Copenhagen games? What's the future?
We will stick together and play a lot more. We are still a new team. We played together 1 month. That's why we're also not playing very well online, because there's a lot of focus on different things. But we will stick together and keep on playing.
Might we see you at any LANs? You know,
I think the Blast is coming up next, and then we are thinking about going to the I-Series when it comes. I don't know, in a few months. So.
Well, yeah, well, the November one, the winter one, that'd actually be a good one to go to, because there's not a lot of teams go to the winter LANs, so I think you could be a surprise package. Hope to see you there. It's great to talk to you again, Lucann. To all the people out there at Cadred.org, do stay tuned. I've got to let this man get back because he's about to play a game. I can see people in the background sort of looking a bit flustered. But stay tuned to our website. I'm not going to be flustered, and I'm going to be bringing you the best coverage from Copenhagen Games 2012. Thanks.